Welcome to Fuji's Farmstead. I'm Jenny, and this is my sweet dog Fuji. He's a Shiba Inu, and he's 4 years old. And I wanted to go over a couple reasons why I think a Shiba Inu is the perfect garden companion. The first thing is pest control. So Fuji is a Shiba Inu and they love to hunt. It's in their nature, and Fuji's main goal in life is to catch these little gophers, which are a huge garden pest in our garden. They've eaten my trees, they've eaten my flowers, they've created tunnels that have caused water and drainage issues in our yard. And although these guys are really cute and fluffy, you can see what they could do to a property if it's unchecked. So Fuji is great at managing these little gophers. He can smell them from a mile away. He can hear them burrowing under the ground before I can even see a mound. And he's super precise. As you can see, if I throw the ball, he just catches it. He's also really good at managing rats at the property. So, this is actually a really large tree rat, which was pretty crazy, but he just snatched that right out of the tree and took care of it. Again, they're really cute, but we can't have these pests in our garden. So Fuji never calls in sick and always stays out late, gets up early in the morning, and is just the perfect garden pest control manager. Shiba Inus are also really independent, which I think is nice because if I'm busy in the garden, working on irrigation or weeding, he does not need my constant attention. He can occupy himself. Here he's catching lizards, and he is totally fine doing this for hours and hours outside. So, oh, there he gets it. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna get it. But yeah, and his little tail is so cute. That's his little donut tail. Shiba Inus are also highly protective of their people and their space. Here is a balloon that was getting a little bit too close to his fence, and so he didn't like that. So he made sure to bark at it, and this is a scarecrow that we put up to deter some birds from eating the seed that we had planted, and Fuji was not very happy about him being in his yard, so it was just kind of funny. We had laid out seed a few years ago, and something that we noticed was that the birds kept eating it, so he made sure to deter all the birds that were trying to eat our seed. This is Fuji protecting his land, and we call this a perimeter run. So we do have a lot of coyotes back here, so we do have to monitor Fuji while he's in the backyard at all times. And sometimes coyotes do come around, but most of the time he alerts us if they're around by barking and running back and forth. And so we're able to go up there if we need to and just scare them off so that they are not tempted to come into the yard. And Fuji just has the time of his life and gets a ton of energy out on this hill, just running back and forth. And, if there's a person out here, obviously he's going to bark and let us know. Or one of those big blue herrings sometimes hang out in this back park area. Bunnies, we had a huge issue with bunnies eating our plants and our grass in the middle of the night, and he just always knew when something was off or somebody was in our yard, and he is able to let us know that this is his property and this is his land and he's going to protect it. And of course, any dogs next to the fence or near the fence, even this large scary pit bull, he is not afraid of. This isn't even his fence, but these are some cats that he just wanted to say hi to, actually. But he's pretty fierce and not afraid of anything or anyone, even these cats that are wanting to probably claw his eyes out. So, and of course, if anybody walks past his street, then, he's got to let us know. And also, again, like bunnies and stuff like that, even if we're inside, he has to let us know that, this isn't right. To do with Fuji is harvest vegetables. This is actually some lemons that my neighbor gave us, but we're constantly outside harvesting corn and squash and tomatoes and eggplants from our garden, and Fuji is always so happy to be right by my side to harvest the veggies, which makes it so much more fun to be outside in the garden when it's hot or it's cold or it's rainy. Fuji is always showing up for work and never calls in sick. And last but not least, companionship. Fuji is the best garden companion anybody could ever ask for. He is so loyal, always making sure that, I have company with me, and that, if I'm spending an hour out in the garden cutting flowers, he's happy to be right there with me to keep me company and keep me outside as long as possible. So he's one of the biggest motivators for me to be out in the garden when sometimes I don't want to be, if it's hot or if it's cold or if it's, I'm tired, or he always motivates me to go outside because he enjoys it and he participates, and he makes it so much more fun to do all of these projects. Being in the garden is just a nice way for me to get outside and soak in some sun. And I have a hard time just sitting and doing nothing. I constantly kind of have to be doing something at all times, or moving around or using my hands. So it's nice to be able to have an excuse to spend all this time outside. And it's also a way for me to get my exercise in, and it's just good for my mental health and my confidence, learning how to do these things like catching gophers and growing pumpkins and fixing up our property and putting in a lawn. It's all been very positive, and Fuji has been a huge part of our success here in the garden. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about why a Shiba Inu is a great garden companion. And if you have any questions about Shiba Inus in the garden, let me know in the comments, and we will see you next time.
Good job, Fuji!
Well, you can't see much of the beds.